Nova, what you cooking, man?
What is up? Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Happy Tuesday morning. Welcome to Iron Minds. It's hoodie season here in Missouri. Highs in the 60s today, low 60s today. Good to be with you all on this Tuesday. Sorry I missed you last week. I got a crazy story to tell about that. We'll talk about that in a minute. Welcome, Nick Klingensmith, Michael Lombard. Good morning, fellas.
Morning.
Good morning.
Man, it's not.
What's that, Michael?
It's not hoodie season yet here in Central Texas.
It's got to be getting close, though, right? What's the high today? The 70s?
No, it's probably still in the 80s today. I'd have to check, but a little humid this morning. Probably 70 right now.
Okay. That's not too
It's like-
bad. That's not too bad.
That's kind of like here. We had a nice cool morning the other day, but it was back up low mid 80s yesterday, and the humidity is back. So we still got a minute till we can bust out a hoodie for the 2 or 3 days a year we get to.
Yeah,
Well, it's 49 degrees here right now with a high of 62 today, so it's perfect here. Perfect.
That's nice. That is perfect.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
really is.
These are Goldilocks conditions. Like, the months in Austin that are the hottest and heavy, or the highest and heavy, like March and October are Austin's like busiest months. October, 2 weeks of ACL, Formula One, Texas football. I mean, it's like it just doesn't stop because of the weather.
Yeah, probably doesn't get nice. Like I remember when I lived in Texas, like it started to feel that coolness around Thanksgiving. It didn't really get too cold before that. But I was in Abilene, though. I was out in West Texas a little bit, so a little different. Hey, I'm excited to share this with you guys. This is a lateral, move here with the shoulder. Oh, and it doesn't hurt at all. I'm telling you, like it is so nice to have the shoulder back 100%. Oh, it's amazing. So excited about that. So excited.
A friend of mine was recently diagnosed with that. I don't know if this is true, but I've heard it's more prominent in males, frozen shoulder, but that's what she says she's got too.
It is more prominent with males, but I think it's because they tend to do things that get them injured more, and that's what's the root cause of it is an injury that then it kind of locks up and does its thing to protect the shoulder. So it's probably just because we do more stupid stuff that gets us injured. But
Which would make sense. She's an obstacle course racer, so she jacks herself up all the time.
Yeah. So that's pretty much how that's going. All right, boys, listen, I got to get started here with some push-ups today. But I got to tell you this story just real quick from last week. So I missed last week. Sorry I wasn't here. I apologize about that. But this is crazy. So just to make a short story, hopefully a little bit shorter, went to the Chiefs game on Sunday night with the RV in the parking lot with my brother-in-law. We had a great time. We camped out all day. We watched football all day. Then we went in and watched the Chiefs beat the Lions. It was great. Came back out to the RV afterwards on Sunday night. And the levelers, that go down, the hydraulic levelers that level the thing out, wouldn't go down. And I was like, oh my gosh, this has never happened before. And if the levelers don't go down, you can't drive the RV because obviously the tires are off the ground. And so I didn't know what to do. I had to be back in St. Louis on Monday morning for an obligation at my kid's school. So I had to get back. I was going to drive back in the middle of that anyways. Didn't know what to do. We called roadside assistance. They sent somebody who works on RVs to check it out. They got there at 1:45 in the morning. Worked on it for an hour, could not figure it out. Said, hey, but we can't fix it right now. We think it's a pump. We can maybe get to it later this week. We can send you a quote. I was like, okay, thank you for coming out. Appreciate it. I had to get back to St. Louis. So I drove. So I had my Jeep that I pulled behind the RV. I drove my Jeep home. I left Kansas City at 3 in the morning, got to my house at 6:15, took a shower, went to my kid's school, did my duty up there that I had committed to, and got home at about 9:15 and just crashed for like 2.5, 3 hours, just trying to, catch up on sleep a little bit, whatever. Woke up, did some work, got to try to get caught up on some work that I needed to do. was trying to figure out what to do. The company calls me back and quotes me $4,000 to change the pump. I don't even know if that's the problem. I have no idea. I can't confirm it's the problem, but they wanted $4,000. Like, oh my gosh. So I called my father-in-law. I said, hey, can you go to Kansas City with me someday this week? Because this company couldn't even get to it until Saturday, and I was pretty sure the Chiefs wanted this thing out of the parking lot sooner than later. So my father-in-law says, hey, I can only go tomorrow. It's the only day I'm available. So we're like, okay. So the very next day, we get up in the morning. My father-in-law graciously drives the Jeep so I can do work while he's driving. We get there, but before we get there, a light bulb went off my head. I was doing research trying to figure out what could be the problem, all kind of stuff. I realized that I know the owner of the company that makes the levelers, Jason Lippert of Lippert Components out of Elkhorn, Indiana. This guy's amazing, by the way. This is a family-owned company. It's now a $6 billion company, over 50 locations, over 3,000 employees. And I had the guy on my podcast 4 years ago. We've kept up. He's a really great guy, incredible leader. I'll tell you a story about them in just a minute. So anyways, I'm like, I got to take my shot. I got to shoot my shot and see if this guy can help me out. He's such a nice guy. I'm just going to see if I can get him. So I sent him a LinkedIn direct message, just hoping that he might see it in the next couple hours, maybe just by the end of the day or something, whatever. This guy responds back to me within 10 minutes. And he says, hey, Trey, so sorry to hear about that. I'll take care of it. He gets me in touch with his VP of customer success via text, puts us on a 3-way text chain. That guy texts back and says, hey, my leveling expert's going to reach out to you within the next hour. So within the next hour, his leveling expert and their chief of staff call me, and just super nice, very positive, almost like they couldn't wait to talk to me and like sing happy birthday to me or something. Like they were so cheerful, so nice, asked me what the problem was. I shared with them what was going on, all that kind of stuff, told the story. And the leveling expert guy, he just says, hey, listen, here's what I think it is. Here's a couple things to try. He goes, first of all, I would check and make sure the reservoir has plenty of fluid in it. And I said, I know the reservoir is empty, but I thought it was empty because the levelers were down. The hydraulics were working. The fluid was in the hydraulics. And he goes, no, when the levelers are down, you should still have half a reservoir of fluid. I was like, oh, I know it's low on fluid then. He goes, well, try that. And then here's 2 more things that doesn't work. And if those 3 things don't work, here's my cell number. Call me back directly and we'll take care of it. I was like just blown away by the responsiveness of this massive corporation. Usually you don't get that with a big corporation. But man, Jason Lippert, shout out to him and his entire team. We went by AutoZone. We picked up some transmission fluid. We got there. We put it in. We let it sit for a few minutes. And then we turned it on, and the levelers went down right away. And problem was solved. And it was just absolutely amazing. And I got to tell you something about Jason Lippert. This guy, he's 3rd generation in the family, I believe. 2nd or 3rd. He didn't start it, but he's 2nd or 3rd generation. And when he came into the organization, he believed in leadership so much and really started to put his money where his mouth is. They had, 3.5 years ago, I know this, they had 14 leadership development coaches full-time on their staff that would go to all the different plants, work with all the leaders, work with people that are coming up in leadership, and really develop all of their people. They really live out their mission. They got their mission statement up and their values all over. They promote and give recognition based on their values. Like they're really just living out what they're doing. But shout out to Jason Lippert, made my week a lot better. And instead of a $4,000 fix, cost me $18 and a little extra time. Could have been more happy with how it all turned out. But all I have to say, sorry I missed you guys last week, but that's what I was doing. But man, shout out to Jason Lippert and Lippert Components, their entire team. Dustin, their leveling expert, Kristen, their chief of staff. Just incredible people, and they were so happy to talk to me. Like they weren't bothered by it. It wasn't like I messed up their day. I mean, it was just amazing. So really, really happy about that. That's my story from last week.
I love hearing that. I actually I'm going to tell this one really short, but a similar story as far as interacting with business, although mine was sort of the opposite. It was a couple weeks ago. I was trying to deal with a medical thing and get something for my sleep apnea. And it kind of went like this. When I dealt with the insurance company, they made it abundantly clear that I was insignificant and did not matter to them. I never talked to the same person twice. I got no help. There was nobody who was interested in trying to solve a problem. Then I called local DME companies, the medical equipment companies, and essentially the middleman, and I'm going to call them the mid-sized companies in this story. And the people that I talked to there were willing to help, and they were very curious about what it was that I was looking for, why I was looking for it. So I got humanity, but they were unwilling, they were unable to help because they still worked in a larger company and they didn't have the ability to do so. I was just about to give up until I decided, you know what? I have a lot of resources. I'm going to find the manufacturer of this thing, who isn't a big company. It's a guy. It's a single guy. There's 2 people who work there.
Oh, wow.
I found him. I found a generic email address, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. Hey, I'm in trouble. I need this. I can't wait a week. Like, any suggestions? He calls me personally about an hour later. He tells me, he's like, hey, order this thing on Amazon. I'm like, I would, but it won't be there for like another week. He's like, no, order it. Send me the screenshot. I'm going to call the guy who that goes to, my distributor, and tell him to get it out in the mail for you today. This all happened in about 20 minutes. Now, UPS screwed me and it didn't arrive on time, but still, it was just interesting the level of, big corporation couldn't care less and the employees didn't have the desire or the ability to help. Mid-sized company, the people wanted to help, but they couldn't help. And the small company, the guy presses a button and gets it done.
Yeah.
The person who cared the most.
I love hearing stories like that. I mean, that's like leadership in action. And man, that's just, it's not common, unfortunately, especially when you get to bigger corporations. But that was really cool that he did that. That's awesome, man.
And it's not that hard to do. And if you think about it, instead of here complaining about these companies, you and I are giving them high fives and publicly talking about them.
Right. And we're going to tell everybody these stories, right? They've earned fan. They've got another fan from us. That's something that if you read the book Fans First by Jesse Cole, who's the owner of Savannah Bananas, he talked about this a lot. And one of their principles is do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. Meaning that guy probably can't do that kind of service for everybody, but he had the chance to do it for you and he did it. And he made a fan for life, and now you're going to tell people all about it. So such a great principle in that regard. Michael Lombard, how's the road conditions there in Austin, Texas? I see the sun is about to come up over there behind you. Looks good.
Yeah, hopefully soon. Powerful stories right there from both of you guys. And I think what's crazy is we think that it's rare, but and it's definitely if you're looking at charts. It's definitely an all-time low time period of being an honest person where where when you're doing the right thing, not a lot of things can go your way, especially in business. But the catch there is if you are an honest and good person with these intentions and when you really need something, I think when it comes because good and honest people, gentlemen such as yourselves, when we need to get something done, like whether it's the RV getting fixed or Nick, you figuring out some stuff with sleep apnea, we kind of don't want to ask for help sometimes because we don't want others to think that we're using them. And that's and that's an ego thing, kind of like what I was talking about last week. That's a defense mechanism where we believe if we're asking for help, we're leaving ourselves vulnerable or we're going to look bad if we ask. But the truth is, when it comes to a bunch of stuff, when it comes to almost everything else, if you don't ask for something, you won't get it and nobody will know that you need it if you don't try to at least ask or pose the conversation to somebody. And truthfully, if you do just ask people for things that you need, whether they're an 1 million follower person, freaking $1 billion company, if you just genuinely ask them, hey, this is what I'm coming into, I know you're the guy. Good, those people who've risen to that level, that kind of station, are going to come out and help you. Now, it's a difference when you ask for help and then you just don't stop asking for them and then you're not doing anything in return. That's the thing. There's kind of a switch there, but people should ask for things more. When it comes to things, people should ask for help more. They should ask for, especially when it has to do with, if it's business or work related, that person's not in that line of work because they hate doing it. Maybe some people are, but they're not where they're at because they hated it. They're not where they're at because they hated helping people. So people should ask for things more. It's not like you're asking for $1 million. You're just asking for a little bit of either expertise or just some help with really a minor thing. $18 part. If you think about that, if you zoom out 30,000 feet, guy helped you out with an $18 part. But to you, it looked like he moved mountains. And it's and that's the way most situations are. Ask for help. Ask for
Yeah.
that advice. Ask for it.
Yeah,
I
there's two
actually
things to
mentioned
that. One is to not be afraid to ask for the help, and two, just to know that there's a chance that you might be asked for help for what might seem like a small thing to you, but man, just taking the time to help out makes a big difference for somebody else. I love what Natasha says. She says, "Closed mouths don't get fed." Good morning, Natasha. Thanks for joining us. Good morning, Jessica. Here as always. Always good to see you guys out there, which is great. So,
Yeah.
so yeah. So I mean, that's it's like I think you're right. Like you got to be willing to ask for help and be the one who needs the help, and then you got to be willing to be the person that gets a chance to help when you get the opportunity. And both are important.
I think that's part of the irony because I read about it in my book a little bit, and I talk about how asking for help is one of the most powerful things that you can do because it's one of the most humbling. You have to get past your ego. And at the same time, from a sales perspective, sometimes when I get jammed up, I got to remember rather than get frustrated, simply ask for help because I agree. I think most people, and I do believe most, would like to help. They want to. Helping feels good, and the reason I do this is because I want to help. Which is the funny part. Here's the irony is that I want to help people. So why would I assume that the other person doesn't want to help me?
Yeah, it's just a pride. You're absolutely right, man.
So
It's hard to ask for help. It's hard to be the one asking for help. But if you don't ask for help, then nobody can give the help. Like it takes both. And sometimes you're in the position of needing a little help, and sometimes you're in the position of being able to offer a little help. So both are really, really, really powerful. All right. So listen, one thing we're talking about this morning is we are right in the midst of trade show season. We got about 4 events left this season. We got F3 is this week. Broker Carrier Summit's next week. We got Technovations in Phoenix the week after that. And then we got Women in Trucking in Dallas. And so, some of you might be traveling to some of those shows and doing that. And this morning, I just wanted to talk a little bit, just a few reminders of how do you stay on track when you're on the road. And I think it's a lot easier than people think, but it takes a little bit of decision making before you get on the plane. That's my biggest take is before you get on the plane, what is your game plan going to be? It's way easy to snack too much on these trips, whether it be it's little things you grab at the airport or you grab at the conference that might pass out, or you go to a function, there might be little finger foods and things that you can eat. It's way easy to snack on the road. That's number one. Number two is you got to plan when you're going to get to the gym or go for a walk or something like that. And I think the easiest time to do it is when you first get there. You can put your bags down, go get a quick workout in before you see people, before you start getting invited to things, and before events start to happen. Get that first one in, so you can at least say you got to the gym once, or you went on a walk once, did something once, and then try to get one more in while you're there. And that's like a really good habit to have when you're on the road. Otherwise, you get caught up in being invited to things and it just gets a little crazy. Michael Lombard, you travel a lot, my friend. What's your best tips for staying on track when you're on the road, especially going to a conference where you're going to see a lot of people and a lot of events going on, a lot of chaos, a lot of things happening?
Yeah, luckily I'm staying a little home base for some of these events coming up because I'm focused on some other things. But really, I think top of the list has got to be as soon as you arrive, getting stuff done. It sets the tone because like if you get to one of those events, what the energy you're putting out there, like if you get back to that hotel, you put your bags down and you go for a run or you go to the hotel gym, it could be 30 minutes. It doesn't need to be anything. You don't need to break yourself off as soon as you get there. But if you set the tone with that, that's what your brain's going to log and internalize. And you've already made it a priority, number one. And number two, be on your feet as much as you can. Like be social, like use that event for what it's worth. Those events, those conferences, it's called a conference for a reason because you are conferring with other people. So you should be up as much as you can, upright, on 2 feet, getting in that movement. It is a good thing to be on your feet for 10, 12 hours a day. It is not do not look at it like, oh, this is going to be a long day. It is what Jocko calls a free benefit when you were up and at it and you were talking to people and you're going to booths or what have you. Definitely do that. And number 3, the top thing that'll really, because that's the thing, people are always afraid, I went to this conference. Now the scale's 5 pounds heavier. Number 1, that's why the scale is obsolete. Don't worry about that, like what the scale says when you get back. If the body responds to consistency, that'll go back down. But the number 3 thing you could do is if you can dial back on your alcohol at these conferences. Again, I know it's great to break bread and enjoy time with those friends, but ask yourself the question, is it necessary? Is it necessary for you to have it? Is it serving you? Like even if it's just 3 beers, is it really going to serve you? while you're there? Like it doesn't matter,
Right.
or is it just a social pressure? Like, and I'm not telling people you have to give up drinking, but just ask yourself that question out loud: Is drinking tonight going to serve me? Is it going to help
Right.
me out?
Well, I'll tell you a little tip is if you carry a water bottle around and drinking water all throughout the day, one, you're going to be less thirsty, number one. And two, it's also going to, like you said, it's going to set the tone of trying to be as healthy as possible. And again, you have a beer or two or something like that, a glass of wine, it's not going to be a big deal, especially if you've been drinking a lot of water, you stay hydrated. But man, carry a water bottle around and just have that with you. Like that's such a great tip to have. If you have a backpack, put one in your backpack. We drink water all day. You're going to drink less, and when you do drink, it's not going to impact you nearly as much. It's going to be a lot better. And Natasha says she packs her own coffee, her own coffee beans, it looks like, and or coffee before morning. She packs her own coffee. What kind of coffee? What coffee are you packing, my friend? What do you got? There's actually quite a few good coffees out there these days that actually have nutrients in them now. The one that Phil Mickelson pushes, a couple of those out there that actually have more nutrients than the more traditional coffee that's out there. So that's good.
Couple
Yeah, Nick, what do you got?
Definitely about working out when you get there, even if it's a half hour. It's like hitting reset when you get off the plane. You know, you get a quick workout in, get the blood going, then you hop in the shower and you just start all over. The biggest thing though is to plan it. And I know, and this probably is the same for Lombard, but I'm always training for something. So it's not like I need to go, oh, I need to work out. It's I have a training session planned. And yeah, I probably need to modify because it is harder to find the 3 hours that might take me, you know, during a conference time. But so maybe I do a little less mobility, a little less warm up, a little less of this. But I have go-to workouts and I plan for them. I plan the clothes. I plan the time I'm going to do them. And here's another thought, because when people are saying, like, I get it, not everybody wants to wake up in the morning. It's even harder. I think it's even more critical because then you're up and at 'em. But that said, I get it that a lot of business does get done at happy hour at these events, but none of it gets done in the first 30 minutes of happy hour, which means you don't need to be there then. You can go get that workout in or do something fitness related and then get down to it. So those are just a couple things for me. And I'll tell you what, it's not just the alcohol, it's the bad decisions we make with alcohol. Because a couple drinks lead to more drinks. It leads to staying up till 1 a.m. instead of 11, you know, and it leads to the fried food instead of the other thing. And it turns the whole conference into that just unhealthy fest instead of saying, hey, I had a few beers last night, got up, got my workout in, did this, had a productive whatever, and it just kind of runs out of control.
Yeah. Something else to think about too is, you know, the snacks on the plane are usually not that healthy that they give you. And so having a snack that you put in your bag that's better for you than that, some peanuts or something else, maybe it's a little bit just better overall than what they give you on the flight. And just saying no. Like when they offer you snacks, it's okay to say no, I'm good. And just getting, you know, not getting off to a bad start when it comes to what you're putting into your body in that regard. Another thing too is this. Let's say that maybe, I don't know, maybe you're embarrassed to go to the gym. Maybe it's just not some place that you like to be. You can get things like this. This is by Fit Simplicity, which these bands, there's like a whole pack of them here. This is the heavy band. There's a light band. There's all these bands here. You can do all kinds of great, you know, mobility movements with these, whether it be on your knees or on your ankles. You can use them, you know, just to pull across. You can do a lot of just stretching that really, you know, stretches out your muscles. And this kind of stuff, this along with some of this stuff, you can do right in your room. You can do push-ups. You can do sit-ups in your room. A lot of times you can do really great stretches in your room. And again, if you get bands like these fit in your bag easy. Nobody even sees them. And you can do a lot of really cool things with bands like this when you get to a hotel room. So you don't even have to go to the gym. If that's not a place you like to be or it's a little uncomfortable right now, totally fine to do that. Natasha says she takes a medium roast on the road coffee by NACRUSAN. All right, cool. Haven't heard that before. I'm not a coffee drinker, Natasha. Never had a cup of coffee a day in my life, unfortunately. So, or fortunately, I don't know, maybe fortunately.
Yeah, I tell people if they don't have equipment or time, I mean, like wherever you're at, you're in that hotel room, do 500 reverse lunges. Tell me you don't get a workout.
Dude, absolutely. You can
just squat for 45 minutes. You'll be fine.
Yeah, do squats, do lunges. You know, you do the soldier kicks. You know, where your legs are straight. You do this for 10 minutes. Man, you'll stretch out those hips, stretch out the hamstrings, all that kind of stuff is there. Natasha says a lot of people don't go to conferences because they don't know what to do, behave, or act. Maybe this is why they don't ask for help, not for ego, but because they don't know how. It's possible there could be some lack of knowledge there.
I'll speak to that for a second too, because speaking of BCS, you know, that was the first time I've been to a conference where I didn't technically work in the industry. And it was different because historically, conferences I went to, I was representing a company that people wanted something from, or, you know, wanted to get into my circle, and nobody needed me there. Not at all. I wasn't required in any circle. And so the answer, I guess, to the people who don't know what to do, you just start saying, hi, my name is.
Hi, my name is. Hi, my name is.
Exactly.
Hi,
But like,
my name is.
the rest we figure out. Cause I mean, like I said, I was lucky for a long time to be in a position at these conferences where people would come to me, you know, oh, hey, you're with this company or that company. We wanted to talk to you about whatever. And you're like, cool. But when you're literally just, the agenda is to get to know as many people as possible. I mean, that's it. You just got to put yourself out there. It's hard to lose that way.
Yeah. That's a great point. That is a great point. Oh, boys, it feels so good to have my shoulder back. No pain. Oh, I love it. Absolutely loving life, which is really good. Michael, you say you're not doing a lot of conferences right now. Are you going to another conference this season, or are you done for right now?
Well, I think possibly in December, Larry Cothran is having a Christmas party on December 13th in Cartersville, Georgia, and I know that so there's a possibility I'm headed to that. But other than that, my services are need. You know, talking with drivers and doing what my little role is here on the Truck Parking Club marketing team, as well as you know, doubling down on all things Lombard and keeping it rolling. Keeping things rolling there. I might see, because women in trucking, I think we just already had people going. So either way, and I know Reed's going to Broker Carrier Summit. But yeah, I'm just rolling strong to the end of the year. I've Austin Marathon will come back on the calendar. So really, 12 weeks, I'll start a good block for that, where I start adding some volume. And,
where's the new truck parking headquarters at? I saw the building. I've seen some of the pictures they put on there. Where's that located?
Yeah, right outside Chattanooga. It's in Ringgold, Georgia. So yeah,
okay.
if you're technically Ringgold, Georgia. So if you're
just
ever
south of the border,
south of the border, if you're ever through Georgia House 75, to anybody out there watching, whether you're a driver or not, stop by the clubhouse, come say what's up, and meet some people on the team. We've got Tracy, who heads our customer service. She's over there. Reed's there. There's good people who always want to talk.
He was in Phoenix. Did he move?
Yep. Yeah, he's over in he's in Freight Alley
I didn't
now
know
as well.
that. Oh, nice. Came to this side of the country. Attaboy.
Yeah, jumping a few time zones.
I know, and in the Lookout Mountain area. Oh, beautiful area, man. I love that, man. If somebody said, dude, you got to move to Chattanooga or Knoxville or Northern Georgia, dude, sign me up. I would say yes to that in a heartbeat.
It's a good spot.
It is a good spot, man. It's a real good spot. I only have one thing left on my work agenda this year, and that is Monday. We're having the last Post and Pray Classic. This is the final edition of it in its current form. I think we might do something else at some point, but it's the last edition of that on Monday. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a good time on that. And then other than that, I'm really looking forward to this. I got to tell you about this. So my daughter, she's a senior. We spent the last month and a half going to the dentist and the periodontist and the orthodontist, getting her braces off, and she's missing 2 permanent teeth in her top realm, right up front. I think the second tooth on both sides. And so she has to get Maryland bridges put in. So it was a long process of like 7 or 8 appointments that we had to go to, but she's finally got them in. So now she's got her permanent teeth for at least another 20 years in place. She's got a beautiful smile. It looks so wonderful. She's so happy. But we're doing senior pictures. And she said, Dad, can we go to Oregon to do senior pictures? Now that may sound like a weird request, but we lived in Oregon when she was a kid. We moved there when she was 2. We moved back when she was 7. So she's got some really good memories of Oregon as a kid. She loves the coast. She loves the beach. And just loves Oregon in general. We all do. We miss it like crazy. And so she said, Dad, can we do senior pictures in Oregon? Well, good news. My sister is an amateur photographer, and they live in Eugene. And so all it was a flight out there. And I've got so many Southwest points from business stuff that it didn't even cost anything to fly out there. So we're going to go out to Oregon on October 30th and spend 4 days out there taking senior pictures and doing all that, which is really, really cool. It's going to be a lot of fun. And that's pretty much the extent of my travel here this fall, which is nice. I get to be home quite a bit, which is really great. So I'm loving that right now. Loving that.
One last thing I want to leave on the record, and I was talking to Nick and I's mutual friend Joe Rinaldi, just for people out there who are, when it comes to these conferences, events, time, quote unquote, flying by. And my friend Joe was helping his wife's grandmother move there. She's in a retirement community, and in this retirement community, they noticed on the outside of everybody's door they kind of had these set like glass cases or whatever information, and there's pictures up of family, all this stuff, for every resident who lives in this retirement community, like family things that they were interested in, stuff from their life. And this one woman, she had like a bunch of pictures from when she would go on these African safaris. So like this person loved animals, loved the giraffes, loved that safari, loved wildlife, loved conservation. And she's in that retirement community, and this person will never get to see those things again. Like that, those days are done, and that's what she loved so much. And I think people, and it's just like an ever sudden reminder for people to know that those days are not as far off as you think in the grand scheme of history. So when it comes to the things you enjoy, your passions, whatever that might be, certain trips, what have you, take them, go on them, ask for the help, make the decisions that are going to allow you to be able to do your passions for as long as you can. So that way you're not some sort of community, because you could be in one of those situations in your 60s. You can be in one of those situations at kind of any age, and it's like, nobody wants that. Like nobody's just like, yeah, that's exactly what I want. Just post me up in one of those nursing homes. I'll just hang out there for the next 15 years of my life, and then that'll be it. Nobody wants that. And so if you don't want that, let's go. Like we got it. You got work to do. Do the things you love. Move your body. We got a 61-day step challenge starting on Project 61, November 1st.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
Jump in the fray. Let's start making these decisions. Let's take the next step towards living for yourself, so that way you can enjoy safari animals or whatever, or going to the beach in Eugene, to be able to go and take those pictures, to be able to do all those things. It's important.
Yeah. I love that, Michael. That's so true. Like we never know what tomorrow's going to hold. People who often tell me, oh man, I'd love to do that. I want to do an RV trip, or I want to do this, or I want to go there. I'm like, plan it, go do it. You don't know how much time you have left. There's no time like the present to do those types of things and just to get in the game. So I absolutely love that. All right, listen, we're at 30 minutes. It's been great to see you guys. Live inspired out there, as Nick Klingsmith always says. By the way, if you're not following him on Instagram and Twitter, follow the guy. Seriously, go ahead and do that right now. When you get off the call, make sure you do that. And as we talk about every week, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Find your tribe, find your group, get involved, like Michael said. Look up Project 61. The step challenge starts November 1st, 61-day step challenge to end the year, which is really great. A lot of good things happening. We love you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time right here, next Tuesday on Iron Minds. Peace out, everybody. Let's go.